5th. That means that it is the 4th of July weekend. We're doing a little news hour with Ghostwriter Special this morning. Um, we're going to be talking about Governor Newsom and how he sued Fox News. You know what I'm saying? With Mandami actually, you know what I'm saying, winning in New York City. He's a progressive. AOC, she's coming up as well. You know what I'm saying? I thought, Governor Newsom striking back at Fox, because look, we're going to go over the case. And if I'm litigating the case, I'm going to just be straight up on whether or not I think this case is going to win, how far it's going to go or not. You know what I'm saying? I hear the opinion of other people, but I don't go off of other people's opinions in legal cases. We see that. Because if you guys go right now, if you're watching this, you could stop and pause it, and you could go to the live streams, and you could just flip back through the live streams a few months, guilty or innocent. When Homeland Security first snatched P. Diddy, I said it wasn't a RICO. I don't care what people were saying. I don't care what the pundits saying. I know the law a little bit. So that being said, we're going to talk about more of whether or not Governor Newsom can win this lawsuit. We're going to talk about what the lawsuit is about, you know what I'm saying, and all that good kind of stuff. So, guys, we just take a few seconds. I'm going to give a few seconds, let a few more people jump in here, and then I'll go ahead with the content. 4th of July weekend. I want to say happy 4th of July to everyone. I hope you guys had a great 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? If you guys watching this, whenever you're watching this, I definitely want to say thank a veteran. You know what I'm saying? Because the veterans are the ones who make the sacrifices to ensure that we get to live the lifestyles that we want to live. You know what I'm saying? In America, freedom isn't free. You know what I'm saying? And so when you thank a veteran and you look at a veteran, just this is what a veteran looks like. You see what I'm saying? Like, if people ever think that I'm by myself, like, that is completely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculousness. Real talk, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of brothers and sisters all over the world and America. You know what I'm saying? So thank the veterans for their service. Man, we're going to go ahead and jump into the content. You know what I'm saying? So some of you guys might have heard that Governor Newsom is suing Fox News for $787 million. We'll just get into it, and as we get into it, we'll go over. So this is Governor Newsom, his actual words. He says, Fox News defamed me by lying, about my conversations with Donald Trump related to the nation's immigration crackdown. Fox chose multiple incidents to amend. Listen to him. He said multiple incidents. I guess this is in their story and their news reporting. To amend, omit, and edit facts that were in evidence in order to shape a narrative. Now, that is Governor Newsom in his own words, according to Reuters, on June the 27th, when he filed a lawsuit. I see Xi Jinping, what's up, Big China? So, guys, if you didn't know, Governor Newsom from California is suing Fox News for $787 million. Yes, with the M, that's close to $1 billion. That's the same amount that Dominion Voting Systems, well, that's what they got from the settlement. I think they sued them for $1.6 billion, would it be, for defamation of character. Back in the day on Legal Wars podcast, or when it was Legal Wars podcast, we used to do guilty or innocent. You know what I'm saying? It's under the live stream tab on the channel. We looked at P. Diddy's entire case. I just said this, and we determined that he was guilty of prostitution. I'm saying we said this on Legal Wars podcast, when it was Legal Wars podcast, as soon as when Homeland Security was kicking in his door, man, looked at the charges. I just didn't see the RICO when we read the law. The man ain't John Gotti, man. Well, today we will do a little like that on this stream. We're going to go over much more, including a news story, about a Forbes story about Governor Newsom suing Fox News. And then we're going to look at his final year as governor in California coming up and his aspirations to be president. Governor Newsom sued Fox for defamation of character. In order to get a defamation of character, I don't care what state you in, Delaware, California, Texas, federal court. In order to get you have to show your damages. That's the only way you're going to get paid. You're going to have to show damages. And I think that's what we're going to run across when we go over this story. If you ask me if I think that Fox defamed Governor Newsom's character, man, come on. You want to be for real? If you want to be for real, do I think, y'all tell me, man, I hear y'all ain't really saying nothing down there in the chat. Do y'all think y'all know about this story? Do y'all think Fox defamed Governor Newsom's character? Do y'all think Fox defames people's character? I'm not sure. We about to look at the facts though. But my thing is Governor Newsom is going to have to show them $787 million in damages. See, I think I said this in the stream later on when Fox and Dominion voting systems, Dominion is a business, okay? So Dominion sued them saying that they defamed their character, saying that they cheated in the election. You know what I'm saying? Similar kind of incident with Fox being involved with President Trump and these lawsuits. But the difference is Dominion voting system is a business that was providing a service. Those were the voting systems that were being used as people voted. Can you understand that? So that means that they can show a loss. Hey, Fox saying this about my business, then guess what? Shoot, we ain't gonna be getting used no more. We're gonna lose all our, you see what I'm saying? So I think that's the big thing, you know, because defamation of character, we're gonna look at the legal definition, okay? Now, the news story is Forbes magazine, June 27. So Governor Newsom announced that Friday that he was suing Fox News for $787 million, but not just the money. Governor Newsom says he also wants an apology, and this is why he's doing it. So Newsom, the governor of California, declared no more lies in a tweet on Friday when he announced he is suing Fox News. He later said, "Bring it on," in reference to the lawsuit, while posting this image from the court filing showing himself in his personal capacity as the plaintiff and Fox News as the defendant. Man, I could tell you personally that there is no love lost between Governor Newsom and President Trump. That's a real beef, and that's personal. That beef goes deeper than just Democrat versus Republican, California versus, you know what I'm saying, the conservatives. Liberals versus conservatives. It's deeper than that. It's personal. You know what I'm saying? The core of this case, though, is that Newsom says Donald Trump lied about the date. The two of them had a phone conversation, okay? Then, according to Newsom, Fox News repeatedly accused him of lying in an effort to booster Trump's version of the events. You say, does that legally qualify as defamation? I don't know. We're about to find out. Governor Newsom says that the things got so bad with Fox News, accusing him of lying about the call, that he started getting phone calls from friends asking him why he was lying about the Trump call. Can you imagine that, though? You know what I'm saying? You had a phone call with the president, you know what I'm saying? And then Fox News or some news agency is saying that it's not going the way that he said it's going, you know? And now your friend's calling you saying, hey, why are you lying about that call? It's making them look bad, real bad. You see what I'm saying? Newsom says that he never lied about the call. He accuses President Trump of lying and is now suing Fox News for elevating this lie on his network and for defaming him in the process. Guys, thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for participating. Everybody who show up after the video is recorded. Make sure you guys double tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, guys, so we'll continue with the content. This is why Governor Newsom filed a lawsuit against Fox News. So Governor Newsom conducted a round of interviews Friday when he detailed the events that led to him suing Fox News. Here are highlights from two such interviews. So Governor Newsom interviewed with Terry Moran, who's an independent journalist and a former ABC News anchor, During the interview with Terry Moran, Governor Newsom says you can't maliciously slander someone. And that is true. But the thing is where Fox is going to counter in defense, they're going to say, hey, man, this politics. This is what we do in politics. On top of that, I'm just reporting the news, sir. Governor Newsom also says you can't defame someone by altering facts, editing facts, doing that without being held to some higher level of ethics and accountability. So Governor Newsom referenced the Dominion lawsuit, and he opinioned that while Fox has settled that case, the company failed to fundamentally change its practices. Man, that's an argument to have. You see what I'm saying? That is an argument to have, though. But I mean, you would have to be able to prove that in court. But I'm saying, like, legitimately, that's a real legitimate argument to have. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how anyone can see that. Like, that applies to me in any court, any kind of situation. If a judge, like, when you get a settlement in a lawsuit, there's probably some kind of agreement, and the agreement is definitely, it's not just about money. In a civil case, it's going to tell the defendant that their actions were wrong, and they should or should not do this moving forward. So if that language was in that lawsuit, and I'm saying that Governor Newsom is saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? You were supposed to fundamentally change his practices. I mean, that's something for the court to consider. Because they're going to say, hey, they have a history. They keep on defaming people. That's his argument. That's his angle, okay? More than 2 years ago, Fox News and Fox Corp agreed to pay $787.5 million to settle a groundbreaking defamation lawsuit. Dominion Voting Systems asserted that Fox had pushed lies and conspiracies and accused his company of rigging voting machines to hurt Trump during the 2020 election. Fox News is accusing Dominion of trying to hurt President Trump during the 2020 election. We ain't gonna get into all that. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no hating on President Trump whatsoever. I ain't hating on President Trump. I'm not hating on Fox News, man. I'm just telling you what's going on. This is facts. You see what I'm saying? The settlement was made after the jury had been selected and mere hours before the actual trial was set to begin. Gavin Newsom went on to tell Moran that he had been on the receiving end of Fox for years and years, and that he did not file this lawsuit lightly. So what that's telling me is that he's going to stick with it to the end, win, lose, or draw. On being on the receiving end of Fox for years and years, Governor Newsom, I mean, every Democrat almost could say that. For years and years, because you're one of the most popular Democrats there is. Can you imagine President Obama? Would he beefing with Fox News? You see what I'm saying? Or say, not beefing, say he gonna sue Fox News for defamation. You know, a little bit of that is just politics, man. That's just the game. During the interview, Newsom said, I got a bunch of calls. Serious, this is actually why this happened. He went on to share that he had received a bunch of calls from friends asking, why'd you lie on that Trump call? This is when Newsom said it had become clear to him that lies against him were breaking through, even though Fox, the audience, had caused real damage. Though he said he had known the network to lie, this time was different. According to Newsom, this time Fox had clearly crossed a red line. Guys, welcome in Legal Wars Podcast. Happy 4th of July to you and your family. Make sure you guys, if y'all will, y'all double tap the screen, show us some love, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Most importantly, guys, y'all jump down in them comments, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and y'all opinions. So Governor Newsom's interview with Brian Tyler Cohen, host of No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. During the interview, Governor Newsom shared that he is suing Fox News in his personal capacity. It's a defamation lawsuit because they willfully and knowingly distorted facts. They lied about a phone call that never occurred between the President of the United States and myself on not one, but multiple occasions. So Governor Newsom is saying that this didn't just happen one time. This has happened a couple of times. They're lying on my name, man. They saying I'm making phone calls that ain't happened. Not the way they saying it. Their news organization, from John Roberts himself to Jesse Waters, knowingly misstated facts, and facts so much so that there was a siren on the bottom. You know, the little band on the bottom under the Jesse Waters show that blatantly suggested that I lied about a phone call with Donald Trump. Basically, what Governor Newsom is saying, I guess, is because it's the language. I think that is what he's saying, the language that is being used. He said, and so I'm not someone who litigates. Governor Newsom, I am. I'm looking over the case right now for you. I'm not someone that typically would jump on something like this, but it was so blatant. I felt compelled to push back against this propaganda network. Newsom said that Fox News said that Gavin lied. He is saying Fox News is a propaganda network. What y'all think? Y'all think Fox News a propaganda network? Or y'all think that Fox News, they just tell it like it is? Do you guys think that Fox News have a tilt on the news? You know what I'm saying? Or are they just giving it? Newsom said, Fox, I have had a high threshold for this BS on Fox. But with this lie against me, they really did cross a line. Fox News can't claim, to be a news organization if they are going to push the abject lies of the Trump administration. Golly, Governor Newsom. He is not happy with President Trump at all. That is a 10,000% fact. Governor Newsom and President Trump and that entire situation is just no love lost. Newsom describes Fox as purporting to be a news organization with journalists when, in his opinion, it's a propaganda network instead. Excuse me. Ultimately, Governor Newsom says that he filed a lawsuit against Fox News because two of its anchors, Jesse Waters and John Roberts, defamed him. And this defamation has caused him harm that compels him to defend himself. That's the whole lawsuit. We're going to get into it. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all listen to me. That's going to be the whole lawsuit. What harm was caused? Because on the face of it, we finna look at it. On the face of it, when we look at the law, the case, the precedent, everything like that, on the face of it, he's got a case with some merits. It's some merits in his case. Governor Newsom accuses Fox News of defamation. What does it mean? PBS, a nonprofit media enterprise in the United States, defines defamation as any false information that harms the reputation of a person, business, or organization. Defamation includes both libel and slander. Libel generally refers to defamatory statements that are published or broadcast, more permanent, while slander refers to verbal defamatory statements, more fleeting. Guys, you know what I wrote down in my notes? The question I asked myself, I'm sorry, Forbes, but why did you guys use a PBS definition of a court case? filed in Delaware. You see what I'm saying? I'm the author. Listen, forget legal anything. Say I'm the author of this Forbes article. Okay? And I'm saying I'm finna define what defamation of character is. I'm saying, why would I say what PBS's definition of character is? That's too funny. I asked myself that when I was writing this, guys. The organization informs that defamation allegations could present legal challenges for media organizations. Guys, make sure y'all double tap that screen for me. Y'all like that video. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Jump down in the comments, man. Say hello, say good morning, say good afternoon. Happy 4th of July weekend to you guys and your families. Okay? So Governor Newsom is pushing for the network to be held accountable for what he describes as unethical and unprofessional behavior that causes harm to him and others. Listen, I'm going to just say this, though. If I was writing this lawsuit, Governor Newsom, I mean, really, I don't care what nobody say. He has a lane with that argument. He has a lane with it, especially because they just paid $787 million. He's trying to make a statement. He's not trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? But Governor Newsom, you got a lane with that argument. You really do. But it's just the damages that he wants to charge Fox News for. Listen, if Governor Newsom's saying that he feels that Fox needs to be fined, or if he feels like Fox needs to be trained, their entire staff needs to be trained, or all of their anchors need to be trained, and they need to issue a public apology. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't measure the amount of harm that is caused on this man, not in a true measurement. You see what I'm saying? He could say, you know, his friends calling him, he's got psychological harm, you know. I don't know if you went to the hospital or to the doctor, or you could prove that in court. But what I'm saying is, you can't, I mean, his name, how much is Governor Newsom's name worth? That's the question. How much is his name worth? And in what area or arena that we talking about? Because this whole case is going to boil down. The entire case will boil down to those damages. I'm trying to tell you. I don't care what nobody say. He has a legitimate argument in what he's saying and his complaints. If there was some kind of damages to where it caused some kind of irreparable harm that is clearly visible to everyone, I would say, man, like Dominion, that you could run an inside straight without the legally, you know, if the legal people who watch this and you understand this, you could run an inside straight in court with that argument, bro, and you could run it straight to a summary judgment, straight to a settlement. Because Fox gonna, if the case lasts that long, Fox is gonna take the case to the end. But Governor Newsom you could get to the end with the case, man. It's just your damages is gonna be the issue. Your argument might be right. I'm not sure. We'll go over it. I'm sure he's got some great lawyers. I mean, he's a wealthy guy. You see what I'm saying? But my whole argument, everything of this entire situation is going to be them damages. It's apparent from the Newsom interviews that he's frustrated with having his integrity and hence his leadership principles put to question in this manner. As a result, Newsom says he is compelled to push back strongly against Fox News to ultimately defend his integrity and buttress his leadership values. Finally, Newsom makes clear that he wants Fox News to recant and apologize for what he deems defamatory behavior. He also wants the organization to recognize that it must hold its employees and anchors to a higher ethical and professional standards moving forward. Guys, I'm saying that, like, that part of that argument, I think that he can make that part of that argument successfully and successfully win a lawsuit. But I don't know if Governor Newsom's, well, he said that, I know it's a part of, you know, filing a defamation lawsuit, his lawyer's going to say that they didn't apologize for what they did. You know what I'm saying? Because we saw President Trump file a lawsuit similar to this earlier, where he said a reporter or network edited his, you know what I'm saying? But that's a different situation, though. You know what I'm saying? It's the same situation, but President Trump has a lot of authority over the federal government, to where in a situation like that, like a news agency would be more willing to cave. I doubt it very seriously if Fox is going to cave on this case to Governor Newsom at all. They'll take it all the way to trial. Governor Newsom's going to have to prove it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that he don't have an argument, because to me, there is plenty of merit in the man's argument. I'm telling you. The people challenge me, y'all. I try to tell you with P. Diddy, I'm listening to his argument. Look, we're going to go, I'm going to show you exactly where I'm coming from, okay? So this is what, I got this information right here, okay? The first information I got from Forbes, this information right here, I actually got this from Governor Newsom's lawsuit, okay? So this is what Governor Newsom's saying. He's saying on June the 7th, he had a phone call with President Trump about immigration issues. Okay, this is right before the riots and stuff started happening in LA. Okay, there wasn't no disturbances at that time. The disturbances didn't begin to June the 8th. So he's saying the night before, or right before the disturbances, he's getting on the phone, and him and President T, they having a phone conversation. Governor Newsom said he attempted to talk to him about immigration issues, but President Trump kept deflecting. He didn't want to talk about immigration. Now, 3 days had passed now, passed by. And on June the 10th, a reporter asked President Trump, when is the last time he talked to Governor Newsom? And he said a day ago. Now, according to Governor Newsom, the conversation happened on June the 7th. I don't think President Trump is, or Fox News is debating that. But so President Trump is saying the conversation with Governor Newsom happened on June the 9th. Well, did they have two conversations? That's not what Governor Newsom said. President Trump told a reporter when he asked him about the conversation also that he told Governor Newsom that he needs to do a better job. And Governor Newsom's policy is causing a lot of death. And Governor Newsom said that President Trump was a liar, and that call never happened. That's what Governor Newsom's saying. Now, President Trump, he had talked to Governor Newsom previously. You see what I'm saying? Wildfires. So President Trump, his argument is going to be like, hey, well, you know what I'm saying, just had that story mixed up. But regardless of what President Trump's argument is, President Trump ain't being sued. He might get some written interrogatories, I'm sure, if they're able to do that on a sitting president. But I'm saying he's not getting sued, though. So what President Trump did after that, he gave John Roberts a screenshot of a call log that had a conversation from June the 7th, not June the 9th. So Governor Newsom was right about that. And then right after that, Jesse Walters did a story calling Governor Newsom a liar, saying that he did call President Trump just on the wrong day. And Fox News intentionally edited out that part to make Governor Newsom look like a liar. Look, I don't care what nobody say. There's no way in the world that you can tell me that right there is not actionable if you're a legal person. That is definitely actionable. And I sat there and watched it, and it happened exactly like he said it happened, okay? Now, this is how Fox is going to defend against this. They're going to defend against this with the anti-SLAPP. It's an anti-SLAPP law in Delaware, okay? And if you guys are legal people or legal nerds like me, a legal geek, New York Times versus Sullivan. The act protects the public's right to engage in activities protected by the First Amendment without abusive, expensive litigation retaliation. So that's Fox's first defense. If I'm a Fox lawyer, I'm going to take the anti-SLAPP law and I'm going to say, hey, it's Jesse Walter's First Amendment right. If he said free speech, he said that he felt like Governor Newsom lied. Abusive, expensive legal retaliation. That's what they're going to say Governor Newsom doing to him. Specifically, the act combats the problem of strategic lawsuits against public participation, also called SLAPP. A SLAPP may come in the form of defamation, invasion of privacy, nuance, or other claim, but its real goal is to entangle the defendant of a SLAPP in expensive litigation and stifle the ability to engage in constitutional protected activities. While Delaware has an anti-SLAPP law, see subsection 8136 through 8138 of Title 10 of the Delaware Code, the law received a score of D- from the Institution for Free Speech due to limited types of speech it protects because of the basic protections provided by the law. Man, listen, whenever I was doing this case, man, I ain't gonna tell you what network I heard it on, but I heard people breaking down this case, and it was lawyers breaking down this case. And they said because of this anti-SLAPP law, this case would get dismissed. I can't say how Governor Newsom's gonna, his attorneys are gonna prosecute this case, but I could promise you that anti-SLAPP law would not dismiss this case if I was on this case for Governor Newsom. 10,000%. I don't care what them lawyers say. I could bet you it wouldn't. Because this is what I'm saying. The anti-SLAPP law, this is what the anti-SLAPP law says. Let's read it again, okay? It protects the public's right to engage in activities protected by the First Amendment without abusive, expensive legal retaliation. So, hey, that's fine. You protecting Fox News, they're a news agency. Yeah, they could, you know what I'm saying? The act combats the problem of strategic lawsuits. So they're going to say, hey, he just suing us because, you know, he trying to run for president. He got a problem with President Trump. But it says right here clearly, while Delaware has anti-SLAPP laws in the Delaware Code, 8136 through 8138 of Title 10, the law received a score D-. So it don't work as good as in some other states. The problem is Governor Newsom is saying that Fox News didn't just tell a fib on him. Governor Newsom is saying that Fox News, they actually edited to make it seem like he's saying that something he didn't say or something happened that didn't happen, and then call him a liar on top of all that. That's what he's saying. That's a little bit different, man. I don't care what no lawyer's saying. I'm saying he got merits in that case. You say, Ghost, how that case gonna go though? Let's look at some case law. This case was filed in Delaware Superior Court. I'm guessing that's where Fox corporate headquarters is. So this is a Delaware state case. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the reference to the case if you want to look it up. That's CA. Okay, that's your cause number, CANO, and it's N20C-07-124 CLS. We got that? Y'all could go back and rewind it. This opinion was wrote by Judge Calvin L. Scott Jr. You say, ghostwriter, why you get case law? The reason why I get case law, because I don't care what no TV lawyer or no pundit, they real attorneys. I'm not an attorney. That don't matter. When you just gotta know what you're doing. When I go get this case law, I'm looking at how a judge in Delaware is gonna interpret defamation in this law. That's going to tell me how it's going to rule. That's why I be right. They talking about what They heard from somebody inside Homeland Security, or they talking about something. They heard but I'm telling you, ain't none of that gonna play. You gotta litigate that case. If you litigating that P. Diddy case, you are not telling me that P. Diddy is no John Gotti. I don't care what you're saying. You're not gonna compare Bad Boy records with the mafia, bro. That's what that law. You feel what I'm saying? Point blank, the prostitution, yeah. Is he a bad person? If y'all go back and watch that live stream, because they were trying to say I was sticking up for P. Diddy, that's not what I was doing. I just understand the law and how the court and the system works. If you go back and watch that live stream, you actually gonna hear me say that if they wanted to get P. Diddy, they should have got him on the state case. Cassie said that he R-word her. Am I right or wrong? Cassie said he R-word her, so I was wondering why didn't they charge P. Diddy with the same, like do him like they did Bill Cosby? Just build a state case on him, man. You probably could get him for 10 or 15 years. The feds coming in, they trying to throw the book at him with a RICO like he doing, man. And I knew that wasn't gonna fly. Well, what I'm saying is a lot of people thinking that Governor Newsom just got at fire, so he might have. But I'm saying, reading what he wrote, I don't know. Did Governor Newsom, somebody might could look that up and see was Governor Newsom attorney or something. I'm saying, reading what the man wrote, he got merits in his argument, straight merits. His argument. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the Delaware state judge wrote. He said, defamation consists of twin torts of libel and slander. A tort is understanding the word tort, you are understanding the law. You have to it's an injury. The whole point of filing a lawsuit in court is to settle a dispute between two people. Say me and a fine young gentleman are having a dispute, and for some reason we can't get a resolve to this dispute. Back in the old Western days, they called it the square. They said, meet me in the square. So you and the person you having a dispute with, you know what I'm saying? You know, y'all do y'all paces. You know, y'all do y'all paces, y'all both got y'all guns, and y'all turn around and 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang. Who got, you feel me? Well, as time went on, you see what I'm saying? It was that same mentality about the square. Two people having a dispute. So the court is a place to solve the dispute. The court, all they're trying to do is indemnify you. That's a huge word in law. When you bring in a lawsuit, they're trying to indemnify you, or they're trying to ameliorate you. What does indemnify or ameliorate? Hold up, Ghost. Don't you have a business called Ameliorate Legal? Yes, indeed. What does indemnify or ameliorate mean? It means to return you to the state that you were in previously, before the injury. You see what I'm saying? So here, me and the fine young gentleman are having a dispute. We try to resolve this dispute between ourselves. We can't resolve it. In the old days, y'all go out and bang, bang, shoot it out, whatever. This the law. We got a law. We got a system. So the system is the court. And that person in the black robe, they're the person, they're the referee. That's who's resolving this dispute between these two people, okay? Now, that's on our side. On the court side and on behind the curtain, my job as the judge is, if I find that person A was really injured, to return them to the state that they were in before the injury. It's all about the injury. If you understand that, you will understand what I'm saying. This Delaware judge Forget what they talking about in California in some studio. Forget what some lawyer talking about in New York City in some studio, some TV, some pundit. If this Delaware judge, he says defamation could consist of two twin torts, injuries, I'm looking for some injuries, libel and slander. Defamation is generally understood as that which tends to injure reputation in the popular sense, to diminish the esteem, respect, goodwill, or confidence in which the plaintiff is held. See what I'm saying about Governor Newsom? He in there a little bit. If Fox News cut or edited that tape to make President Trump look good and to make Governor Newsom look bad, he all the way in there with what he's saying. It's just that the 787 million, Governor Newsom doesn't have a business where he could project losses like that. He doesn't have $787 million in medical bills. He doesn't have. See, that's why people start laughing about the lawsuit. But if Governor Newsom really wanted to get on Fox and teach him that lesson that he's saying, because the merits of the case, when that case comes before the judge and that attorney is presenting that argument and the merits, he's spot on with the argument and the merits. If Governor Newsom is saying that, hey, they need to be trained or taught something, okay, what they need to be trained or taught, that angle. But I'm saying without that injury or without $787 in damages. So what the judge says, he says to establish a claim for defamation under Delaware law, the plaintiff must plead. Same thing we did on guilty or innocent. Number one, a defamatory communication. Governor Newsom said Jesse Walters called him a lie. I'm saying we could get in the court. See, that's what I'm saying, Governor Newsom. You got somebody like me. We could get in the courtroom and we could argue that. Because he's saying it's his free speech to call a lie. Yes, it is your free speech to call a lie. But if you cutting a tape, if you editing a tape intentionally and willfully, and then trying to make me look bad, then nah, that's defamatory as could be. So number one, merits. Number two, publication. He talking about Fox News. I'm sure his attorneys, they, you know what I'm saying, sent the exhibit of the whatever he was talking, the clip or whatever. So publication. So number two, he good. Reference to the plaintiff. I watched the clip myself. And Jesse Walters was calling Governor Newsom's name. The whole segment was about Governor Newsom and that conversation with President Trump. So he good with number three. I'm talking about all the elements are here. I'm trying to tell you. Number four, the third party's understanding that the communications defamatory character. Excuse me. Of course, Fox News knew the understanding of the defamatory character. They edited the tape. How can you not know that you defaming the man's? If I'm editing the tape, then yeah, you intentionally, you're gonna know that it's defamatory and you know you calling him a liar and editing the tape, and you know that. Come on, man. Yeah, all four. But number five is the injury. So that's why I stopped right there. Governor Newsom, what's the injury? That's it right there. What's the injury? What's Governor Newsom going to say? The injury. He got the defamatory communication happened. Publication happened. Reference to the plaintiff happened. Third party understanding that is what I'm doing is wrong pretty much is what that's saying happened. What's the injury? The injury can't be that it caused me harm or damage or it hurt my character. You got to show how it hurt your character. I don't know how he wrote his lawsuit up. I didn't see the lawsuit. But when I see the prayer, that's what it is, a prayer. You see what I'm saying? I was taught by an old school attorney, man. That's what it is, a prayer. But when I see that prayer and what he is asking for, that he's asking the court for, because I'm saying the judge can only give you something that's within her bounds, his or her bounds, or within the law. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm saying if the case does get dismissed fast, it's because of what he's asking for, $787 million. The court's gonna say they don't see those damages. They might say we can't even get to $1 million in damages. I don't know. I didn't see the lawsuit, but me hearing the story, knowing what I know, seeing what Forbes wrote, seeing what a story in Sacramento, I read a bunch of stories, Reuters, Politico, what everybody's saying about this lawsuit. Listen, everybody thought it was the coolest thing in the world, bro. I really did too, bro. That he sued Fox News, man. Think about that. For $787 million. And listen, so I said it before, they have a phone conversation on June the 7th. The riots start on June the 8th, okay? On June the 10th, President Trump has a conversation with a reporter and says that he had the conversation with Gavin Newsom yesterday, which would have made it the 9th. Me personally, that has nothing to do with President T. President T probably getting 5-6 hours of sleep every single day. He's 70-something years old, man. He an older man. And it just was yesterday to him. It wasn't on the 9th, it happened on the 7th. So he said yesterday, the 9th, but it was really the 7th. That's not the problem. And when I heard that reporter talking about that, he talking about President Trump. President Trump, this lawsuit ain't got nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with him and nothing at the same time. He not being sued. President Trump is not a defendant in this lawsuit. He probably ain't even gonna have to answer discovery in this lawsuit. And the whole case about him. You see what I'm saying? So President Trump making, I don't want to say a gaffe, but just, I have to go back and look what actual day it was. Because he sent the screenshot after that to John Robert, the reporter at Fox. And it said June the 7th. Fox didn't try to change the date and make it look like it wasn't June the 7th. They showed that it was June the 7th. But what Governor Newsom said is they edited out the segment. They cut the segment and then started calling him a liar. Knowing the conversation didn't have nothing to do with what President Trump said it did at that time. Not saying that President T might have been talking about he could have had it mixed up. He could have been talking about Governor Newsom and a wildfire conversation they had before. Y'all remember that him Governor Newsom poking President Trump in the chest? He could have been talking about that conversation. And when he said yesterday, he could have really thought yesterday was 2 days ago. I'm saying this ain't got nothing to do with President T. That ain't what Governor Newsom said happened, TMZ. That's not what he said happened. He acknowledging all that with President Trump. You got to look past the political stuff, and the court going to look past that. Because we understand Governor Newsom, he fired up about this. Man, I'm telling you, he has straight beef with President Trump. Like on some personal stuff, do not like President Trump at all, period. I don't know. I don't think they care for Republicans, but they definitely cannot stand President Trump. It's personal. You see what I'm saying? But this ain't got nothing to do with that in the way that I'm interpreting this. I'm interpreting this from what Governor Newsom said. Guys, before I get to the outro, I'm just going off of what Governor Newsom said. This is what he said. Hold on. Governor Newsom is pushing for the network to be held accountable for what he describes as unethical and unprofessional behaviors that causes harm to him and others. Now, if you are a Republican in this stream, or if you are a conservative, or if you are a friend of Fox News, you're going to say unethical and unprofessional behavior. Yeah, he going to say that. He a liberal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that's not how the court going to look at that. They're going to say, Governor Newsom, what his attorney is, what you mean by Fox You could hold them accountable. What's unethical and unprofessional behavior that they have done? What are they doing? Oh, when they did this side with Dominion voting systems, they were supposed to change and they hadn't changed. You see what I'm saying? That's a legitimate argument. I don't care what you're saying, how minor or insignificant you think it is. That's a legitimate argument. If he was pushing for Fox to train their entire staff again, I think he would win that lawsuit. Hands down. Because you pushing for the network to be held accountable, he trying to hold them accountable with 787 million, but that judge gonna look at that case and he gonna say, where your 787 million in damages? He got to be able to see them. You got to be able to show them damages. Guys, reading how Delaware courts seem to be interpreting the law, I think Governor Newsom's case is stronger than what people think. All the elements are there, besides number 5, is the injury. I didn't read Governor's lawsuit, Governor Newsom. I'm sorry if you had the injury in there and you explained it explicitly, like not in layman's term. I mean, with 787 million, if this attorney, I never wrote a case in Delaware, so I don't know how they do it in their courts. But what I'm saying, if this attorney is saying that my client, $787 million, what? Boy, I need that line by line. I need them damages line by line. How you come with 787 million? Oh, I'm just throwing that out there to get a settlement. What's the settlement gonna be? I still need line by line. What you got injured? You got your feelings hurt? That ain't no injury. Your friends calling you saying that you was a liar, that's not an injury. You trying to be the president of because I wrote that in there. Watch this. When Fox defends that with the anti-slap, we went over there, Governor Newsom will still have to respond with the injury that was caused. I think that's going to get him. See, Fox dogging on Dominion voting systems could have and probably would have cost Dominion millions of dollars. You see that? Governor Newsom could say it'll cost him millions, but you got to show how. Dominion can easily show that. Oh, we got $2 million from the state of Texas for using our voting systems. We got $1.5 million from the state of Florida from using them. We got 19 million. You see what I'm saying? So when Fox said that we cheating in our system, that means that these states, if we let this stand, what they saying, these states, they probably not going to use us no more. That means that all this business, they could show on paper millions of dollars that they're about to lose. But what I'm saying is, if I was a Fox attorney, my main argument, I wouldn't use no anti-slap. What's his damages? That's how I'm gonna dismiss his case. He can't show me no damages, especially not, if I was a Fox attorney, I'd say he couldn't show me $1 million in damages. You got to be able to show them damages. You got to show them damages. What's your damages? Governor Newsom can say that report may have hurt him in a future presidential run. And that's not bagging on Governor Newsom. What does it cost if a candidate, to me, I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a deep thinker and I argue so hard. And with this case, Governor Newsom, I saw an inside straight, but you got to play that. You need somebody who could debate, who could argue a point like me vehemently. Because I'm saying, what would be the cost if this guy, if we say the probabilities of him getting on a presidential ticket for Governor Newsom is what? What's the probability? What's the chances? It's got to be pretty high out of the field of candidates. You can name 5 candidates, and AOC and Governor Newsom are the 2 names who are going to run for president who you probably would know the most. Who I think would do the most with the larger segment of the of the American electorate, would be more of a centrist candidate. But I think the Democrats are going to have a centrist and a progressive on the ticket. So you looking at AOC and or Governor Newsom. I don't think they're going to put two progressives on the ticket. I don't think they're going to put two centrists on the ticket. You can't. You put a centrist on the ticket or a Reagan Democrat on the ticket. I don't care if it's the top or the bottom. And then if you got two of them, then you alienate the progressives. The Democrats got two wings in their party. So they're going to have to satisfy both. They looked at VP Harris. Well, I'm not sure. Like VP Harris, I don't know if they thought she was. I don't look at her as a liberal. As a Democrat, she like a middle of the road Democrat. Look at all the Republicans she was with. I don't know if they look at the governor from Minnesota. I don't know if they look at him as a liberal either. I'm not sure. But I'm saying how I see a ticket, I see like a Shapiro and a Democratic ticket, a Shapiro or a Bashir in Kentucky, in Pennsylvania, one of them two, top or bottom, and or Newsom and or AOC. That's what I'm saying. So if this guy is finna run for president, what does it cost a future presidential run? His chances are pretty good. But then Fox gonna say, hey, well, this is politics, man. This is what we do. It's a conservative network. We gonna get at the liberal candidate. I'm not sure if the court can measure damages at this time for that. That's what I'm saying. Other than that, I don't see 787 million. If this happened in the middle of a presidential campaign, that could have cost Governor Newsom the White House, that'd be a completely different argument. You could show damages on paper. Hey, we spent $1 billion on this campaign and this network did this and I lost by 3 votes. But if those are negligent words in the law for their actions, if they wouldn't have did this action, then this wouldn't have happened. My injury is I'm not president no more because Fox over here defaming people's character. But what I'm saying, if you can't pin them on it, then if you can't pin no injury, then you just writing what you're saying. Dude, I do this all the time with lawsuits, all the time. You got a whole case on people, a whole case. But if there's no damages, I'm saying you could file the case. What you gonna get out of it? The lawsuit. That's what I'm saying. If Governor Newsom had wrote that lawsuit where he was saying, hey, because that's what he said earlier, that they have a history of this. And what they did really isn't really ethical, really. I mean, if you ask me how bad it is, they trying to help out President T. Jesse Waters, that's personal though. The court ain't gonna be personal. They just gonna go by the law and interpreting the law. And according to that Delaware court, that is but the injury. Regardless, the way Governor Newsom responded to Fox has motivated Democrats nationwide. And if he keep taking swipes at the right like that, I really believe he's going to end up on the ticket in 2027. I don't even know if AOC wants to get on that ticket. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? AOC might want to run on over to the Senate, you know what I'm saying, and become the majority whip in the Senate. Or she might want to run for president. If I had to give her advice, I'd tell her definitely to stay in Congress because she's like the most beloved person in Congress, definitely most famous one. So she should definitely be in high leadership in Congress, AOC. She's been there for a while too. But I think either her or Governor Newsom, if they identify those two individuals, politicians as progressives, I think those two are the top 2 names at this point in time, looking like they'll be on a Democratic ticket, on the top or on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? That's my take, guys. You know what I'm saying? See what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? How you guys feel, about my analysis on the situation with Governor Newsom and with Fox News, man. I thought it was real important for me to come on and to address this, man, really to salute Governor Newsom for that. You see what I'm saying? Standing 10 toes on business. I mean, he fighting. To me, Fox News can't even hate on him for doing that. How could you hate on him? He your op. That's what he's supposed to do. He's spinning the block on him. That's what he's supposed to do. That President T do that all the time, viciously. President T don't be playing. You know what I'm saying? It's highly unfortunate in my mind that, Governor Newsom and President Trump don't get along. With me being an independent, I don't have nothing against Governor Newsom whatsoever. Nothing. And y'all know I'm fond of Big President T. You know what I'm saying? That's my dog. But it's highly unfortunate that, it's like that, but that's the way it is. You can't cry about it. Him and President Trump, they don't get along. They won't get along. And it's very, very, very personal. Guys, that was a special news hour with Ghostwriter, man. I'm going to keep the stream up probably for about 24 hours. And then if you guys watch this content and you're not a member of the channel, you know what I'm saying, and you enjoy the content, make sure you let me know in the comments or something. You like the video, show me some support, you know what I'm saying, and definitely watch it within 24 hours. That being said, guys, that's my time. I'm about to get on down. I appreciate you guys showing up on this Saturday, 4th of July weekend. People still sleep. They ain't getting up, ain't studying, talking about no politics. And if they was, they definitely ain't trying to talk about Fox News getting sued by Governor Newsom. But I had to salute big OG Governor Newsom, you know what I'm saying? So that being said, man, I like to say that, I am a Christian, man, born again, sanctified, blood washed. I believe that Jesus suffered, bled, and died on the cross to save your soul from hell. You got to ask him for forgiveness. I think if you ask for forgiveness, you repent of your sins, you know what I'm saying, and you accept him as your savior, change your life. That's what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Once you have God with you, man, that's you complete. That's everything I need. He everything I need, man. That's how I fight my battles. With worship, with prayer, with faith. Anytime I get in a situation where it's bigger than me, that happens in life. Things that come at you and it's bigger than you. You can't handle it by yourself. I give them situations to God. I get on my knees and I pray. And when I pray, I start every prayer with thanksgiving. Come before the Lord with thanksgiving and give our praise to your Most High. I'll just be thankful for everything. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I get in a situation I don't understand, that's how it started. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. You thankful to God for everything. That's the beginning of that relationship with him. You see what I'm saying? You got a relationship with him, man, that somebody else might not understand. Like, might be God's favorite. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get there, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be thankful to him for everything at all times. That's how I do it, man. Thanksgiving to get you out of any kind of low situation. I promise you. It don't make no sense at all. 0 sense. When I don't have nothing, I'm thanking God and being grateful for not having nothing. And that's how I get something. Yep. That's how that works. Thanksgiving. Ups and down seasons, we always going to go through it, bro. But if you thankful, just try me out, though. That's my time, man. I appreciate all of you guys for showing up and participating in the stream. Man, look, on Tuesday, we're going live, regular time, news hour with Ghostwriter, 7 a.m. Central. We're going to be talking about President Trump and that big, beautiful bill. It's law. No more arguing, no more disputes. We could get on with the business of America, man. Thank goodness. But hey, that was landmark legislation. It was a humongous bill. I heard it called everything big, ugly bill. That's what Representative Hakeem Jeffries. Look, this one I'm going to say. I heard Mike Johnson. Man, I'm going to salute. Look, I'm going to stand up and do this one. You know what I'm saying? At the end, man. I'm going to salute Mike Johnson, man. You know what I'm saying? He the Speaker of the House, man. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana. You know, I like Mike Johnson, man. Real talk. Listen, I heard Mike Johnson said something, though, that made some sense, bro. It's going to be something in this bill that everybody don't like. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about this on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? It's not really about what's in the bill. What we're going to talk about is President Trump, he make his decisions and he make his moves, man, and the results of his decisions and moves, bro. I come up with 4 or 5 incidents on Tuesday where big, humongous, monumental in 6 months that I didn't agree with what he doing, but the results of it, I agree with the results. I think the results are clearly seen. Stock market. You know what I'm saying? We didn't talk about deal with Vietnam, making a deal with China. You know what I'm saying? Golden age. She's still on that. Stock market even hitting higher numbers because of that job reports, 5 months in a row high growth. AI, big reason for that. You know what I'm saying? That investment, new jobs. He's selling American weapons all over the world, man. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff he doing, man, cut the budget in half, man. And it's a lot of stuff that he did from the get-go that I didn't agree with. But when you take a step or two back and you look at what he doing, man, I'm sorry. That's what it is. I said that if VP Harris run for governor in Cali, bro, I'm going to rock with her. And Big President T, that's my dog. Big President T, we ride till the wheels fall off. That's my time, man. I love y'all, man. Peace and love, man. You know what I'm saying? To all my haters, man, y'all keep hating, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep hating on me. Keep educating me in this law, man. You know what I'm saying? Till I reach my full potential in the Lord, man. Real talk, that's on everything. Man, peace and love, man. Y'all go out there, enjoy your day, man. Thank God for everything. You thank God for everything, I promise you. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, man. That's it, though. I love y'all, man. I see y'all Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Central, right here on Legal Wars Live. I love y'all, man. Y'all be good.